This is CMC Hollywood. I will be discussing the 10 most translated books in the world. Books are an experience that can't be found in any other form. Ingenious authors work hard to put a great story in front of us. What happens to be your favorite book? Is it famous and has it been translated into other languages? Can be difficult to present translated books in the foreign market, and it is still hard for authors to find a good, effective way to achieve their objectives. Translating a book starts from the search of translators who can help turn the book into sharp and expressive translated version. Translation agencies is a great way to go, but it is important to choose a reliable and experienced one. The influence of translation is huge, including not only the contents that are conveyed but also an author's fame and recognition. Reading is equivalent to having a person speaking to you. Books are a great escape if you need to get a glimpse of dystopian worlds or the human mind. However, not all books can be read in the language they have been initially written, so to make books universally available to most people, they are usually translated to the most spoken languages. A book is words, ideas, mindsets, advice and knowledge wrapped up into a portable collection of papers. Reading gives us understanding, reasoning, and critical thinking, and helps us to get a growth mindset when learning other disciplines. From fiction and non-fiction to holy writings or comic books, many of them are translated in lot of languages. The most number of books that appear in the list of translated versions are, without surprises, children's stories. For cross-borders, a book is translated. This is the easiest way to market a book. The more languages are converted, obviously more people would be able to read it. The work of a translator is not easy at all, as they face many challenges during translation. They need to have a proper knowledge on both languages they are translating. They use their magical way of transforming literature into a different language without losing identity. Sometimes, an original book does not get enough attention, but then lot of people find the way to reading it in translated versions, and because of that it becomes more famous. 10 most translated books in the world. Number 10. Andersen's Fairy Tales, 190 translations. Andersen's Fairy Tales was written by Hans Christian Andersen. Hans Christian Andersen's famous fairy tales is an important story for children, young adults and adults alike. It is a classic tale of virtue rewarded and vice punished. The stories are told in a simple, straightforward way that is easy to understand. They have been translated into more than 190 languages, which shows the universal appeal. Number 9. Alice Adventures, 374 languages. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland has been an attraction to young and old readers since it had been first published in 1865. This is a story of a girl that loses her way and finds herself in a magical world. Lewis Carroll uses in his book captivating wordplay and exciting plots to keep the readers engaged the longest. It was written in English and is found in almost 374 different languages around the world and is still reading with great affection. Like many other children's books, this one was also turned in a movie version. Number 8. The Communist Manifesto, 400 languages. The Communist Manifesto is written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels in 1848, reflects an attempt to explain the goals of communism, as well as the theory underlying this movement. It argues that social class struggles are led by exploitation of one class to another and that these are the motivating forces behind every historical development. Marx sought to explain the development of modern society in terms of historical materialism. By exposing the true nature of modern society, Marx and Engels hoped to engage their audience in the revolutionary cause of the Communist League. Communist Manifesto has been translated into 400 languages. Number 7. Adventures of Pinocchio, 560 languages. The Adventures of Pinocchio, not only kids also adults are fans of a good story with a moral. Carlo Collodi wrote Pinocchio originally in Italian. It is a story of the small wooden boy who has a habit of lying. This book has been translated in more than 560 languages since it was published in 1883. Number 6. Pippi Longstocking, 720 languages. Pippi Longstocking is a Swedish character created by Astrid Lindgren. She is a free-spirited and strong-willed girl with superhuman strength, who lives together with her horse, Mr. Nielsen, in Villa Villakulla, Villa Mischief, in the fictional town of Marbacka on the island of Funland in Sweden. Pippi has inspired various toys and products and appeared in several films and TV series based on Lindgren's books. The books were translated into many languages within just a few years after they were published in Sweden. The first translation was made into English by Nancy Ekholm Burkett in 1950. She also translated other books by Lindgren. In 1972 the German translation was awarded with the Germanistenpreis Germanist Award of the German Academy for Language and Poetry. Pippi Longstocking has been translated in over 720 languages. Number 5. The Little Prince, 906 languages. The Little Prince. This storybook is famous for the poetic tale and also for the watercolor illustrations that comes with him. The author, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, has done his best to create an amazing world with his art, and was originally written in French. The story starts with a pilot getting lost in the Sahara Desert and finds a little blonde boy that asks him to draw a sheep. After that starts a story that shows the importance of life. Published in 1943, the book can be found in more than 906 languages and has sold over 300 million copies. The Little Prince has been translated in over 906 languages. Number 4. The Holy Quran, 1050 languages. This is the holy book of Muslims. The Quran was revealed by God to the last prophet Muhammad, through Archangel Gabriel. It was written in ancient Arabic and has been translated into almost 1050 different languages. The Quran consists of surahs, chapters, and further divided into ayahs, verses. It is difficult to know for sure, but according to the 2.4 billion adherents of Islam, which constitutes the second largest world's religious group after Christians and more than 30% of the world population, the Quran is probably the fourth translated book in the world, although it cannot be included in the list because it has not been fully translated, only partially. Number 3. Step to Christ, 2060 languages. Steps to Christ was first published in 1892 and written by Ellen G. White, pioneer and prophetess of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The book defines what Seventh-day Adventists believe in matters such as salvation, the nature of man, and how a Christian's life should be. It covers the topics of repentance, confession, faith, acceptance, growing into Christ, and prayer. Ellen Gould White was an American author and co-founder of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Along with other Adventist leaders such as Joseph Bates and her husband James White, she was instrumental within a small group of early Adventists who formed what became known as the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Step to Christ has been translated in over 2060 languages. Number 2. The Holy Bible, 6,882 languages. The Holy Bible is the most widely sold and translated book in history. It has been translated into more than 6,000 languages and dialects. The Bible is not a single book but a collection of books, 66 in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament. The Bible was originally written by about 40 individuals over 1,500 years. More than half of those authors are anonymous. The first translation of any part of the Bible was from Hebrew into Greek in about 250 BC by a Jewish scholar named Aquila. This version is called the Septuagint because it was written in 70 Septuaginta, or 70 translators who worked on it at Alexandria, Egypt. It was completed in 150 BC and became the standard Bible for Greek-speaking Jews until Jesus Christ's time, about 1 AD. The earliest known translation into another language was made in 2nd century BC by King Ptolemy II Philadelphus, who commissioned Jewish scholars to translate their sacred texts into Greek so that they could be read by non-Hebrew speakers throughout his kingdom. Number 1. Rhapsody of Realities, by Pastor Chris, 7,000 languages. Rhapsody of Realities is daily devotional by Pastor Chris. Several millions of Rhapsody of Realities, the best-selling daily devotional and Bible study guide, have been distributed in many countries in 7,000 languages of the world. The Rhapsody of Realities, a publication of Love World Publishing Limited, a daily devotional authored by Pastor Chris Oyakilum of the Christ Embassy, is now the most translated book in the world. The Director of Operations, Love World Publishing, Pastor Lola Azada, who made this known at a news conference in Ikeja, Lagos on Friday, said the publication has now been translated into 7,000 languages worldwide, with 520 of these languages from Nigeria alone. Never in the history of the world, and in all the record books of Guinness Book of World Records, has any literary material, be it document, film, writing, book, or any piece of historical or modern parchment, been translated into 7,000 languages. Healing Live Healing Services hits a grand record of over 7 billion people participating from all over the world. This is a super goal. Pastor Chris breaks 2 Guinness records. 1. Rhapsody of Realities as the world's most translated book to 7 billion participants of a global program.